What's going on, everybody? Look, I did a video earlier today, and I was talking about math and the history of math that's in the Bible, and African history and so forth. And I was also giving a little background about myself on it. Um, and I hate when I have to cut a video for whatever reason and go back to it because it seems like it just doesn't flow as naturally as the first ones did. But I will say over time, I am getting better and better at speaking into the camera because I'm not really a person that likes to, talking to the camera. I'm very critical sometimes of myself. Uh, um, and even my speech patterns and so forth. So let me just go ahead and say this to you. I grew up like most of us when it comes to, and I say, like I'm talking about, well, I think and generally, but I think more so in my opinion, this could be wrong, most of my opinion that we as Black people in America, we are very miseducated in understanding the value of how math plays a part in our daily lives and how we can use and understand math to actually better and educate ourselves to go further than we are, you know. And at one point in time, we were the center of that, and I don't know what happened with it, but I think that until we get back into understanding mathematics and the power and the basic understanding of mathematics, right? Then we that's the only way we're gonna actually get out of the situation that we're in, the the poverty that we're in. And it's in the Bible and it's many areas and stuff, right? And I'll later go into that bit by bit, piece by piece, and everything, right? But I want to start to build the conversation on that and how it affects our daily lives. I want to start building that because there's got to be a way that we've got to interest has got to be piqued on this subject, right? And why many people, really don't want to pique your interest on the subject because as much as they claim to try to want to fix and help the Black community, I believe that many of them are actually counting on your ignorance. So they give you information of knowledge that is not valuable to you, not valuable to you. So, and it's not put into a context that it can be valuable to you, right? So, um, I'm going to just read a couple of things to you, right? And I just want to put your mind to the idea of math and the role that math plays on us as a people, as a society. And we have to understand that even in the future, math is still being used. Remember, I believe the computer was created off of ones and zeros. It was a mathematical system that they created in order to make the computer work. AIs created through mathematical equations. All these things they come up with, all these things that you're seeing working today, they're all using some form of mathematics to understand, to get the best numbers, to ratio, and all that stuff they're using mathematics to do it, right? And I think that if we're gonna you know, really get into what we need to get into as far as helping our people advance, right? The best way to advance our civilization. That's what I mean, saying look into it. But the best way to advance our civilization is really learning how to understand and deal with math and advanced math, right? As best we can. You know what I mean? Now everybody's not gonna get it, but you start where you are. You know what I'm saying? If like me, I'm still dealing with add, subtraction, basic multiplication, basic algebra, the basic mathematics. You know what I mean? But when it comes to calculus and algebra and trigonometry and all those things and stuff. That's where I'm not there yet. You know what I mean? So um, and I feel rusty in those areas, right? But this is where I need to grow, right? So we got to start where you are, and where you are is where you start, but then you grow from where you are, right? But rather than just being, oh, I can't do this, it's too hard for me, right? So I found this interesting article, and the interesting article um, I'm going to share with you, right? It came out of the ancient African history.com. And it talks about our history in math and the things that we created, right? In math that came out of Africa, right? So I'm gonna say art history and math. I know some people will argue whether they black or whether they African, it's different things and so on and so forth. You know, um, I don't know whether they were black or African. You know what I mean? You know, but I do know that it came out of where many of us were taken from, where many of us call home, where many of us have a connection to, as the rest of the world also does, in many ways. Because Africa is the birthplace of all civilization. So, but I just want to share this with you. And I thought, you know, this is interesting, you know. And so let me read this here what it says. Okay. Ancient African mathematics. Africa is home to the world's earliest known use of measuring and calculations, confirming the continent as the birthplace of both bases and advanced mathematics. Thousands of years ago, Africans were using numerals, algebra, and geometry in daily life. This knowledge spread throughout the entire world after a series of migrations out of Africa beginning around 30,000 BCE. BC, I'm sorry, and later following a series of invasions of Africa by Europeans and Asians, 1900 BC present. Okay? 1900 BC present. So this is still happening, right? Measuring and counting. So I don't know if you guys can see that there. This is what they call the Lubombo bone, 35,000 BCE. Okay, let me try to get a bigger picture on that. I hope you guys see that now. The Lubombo bone, the world's oldest known measuring device, the Lubombo bone. And let me just do this is about this right here. Um, the oldest mathematical instrument is the Lubumba bone, a bamboo fibula used as a measuring device and so named for its location, a discovery of Lubumbo Mountains of Switzerland. No, Swaziland. Sorry. Read that again. The oldest mathematic instrument is the Lubumba bone, a bamboo fibula used as a measuring device and so named for its location of discovery in Lubumbo Mountain, Swaziland. This device is at least 35,000 years old, judging from its 29 distinct markings. It could have been used to either track menstrual or lunar cycles, or used merely as a measuring stick. That's very interesting. um, it is rather interesting to note that the significance of 29 markings roughly the same number as a lunar cycle, i.e. 29 531 days. The Bamboon Babula because it is the oldest indication that baboon, the baboon, a primate indigenous to Africa, was symbolically linked to Khonsu. Okay, I gotta find what Khonsu means, but into Khonsu, who was also associated with time, the Kemetic god, the Houthi, Tahuti, Tahut, or Talk, was later depicted as a baboon, also an ibis, and is usually associated with moon, math, writing, and science. Use of the baboon bone as mathematical device has been continuous throughout all of Africa, suggesting Africans always held a baboon as sacred and associated with the moon, math, and time. Wow. Okay, I like that. Interesting. Okay. Now we look here, we have what is known as the Shaka bone, 20,000 BC. The world's oldest evidence of advanced mathematical was also a baboon, the bowler, that was discovered in present day Democratic Republic of Congo and dates to at least 20,000 BC. The bone is now the bone is now housed in the Museum of Natural Science in Brussels. Sorry. The bone is now housed in the Museum of Natural Science in Brussels. The Ashango bone is not merely a measuring device or a talisman, as some people enormously suggest. The bone is scripted or daily separated into clusters of markings that represent various quantities. When the markings are counted, there are all odd numbers. In the left column, counted, read that right? Okay, okay, yeah. When the left column is counted, all prime numbers between 10 to 20. In the right column, counted, added, subtracted numbers. When both columns are calculated, they add up to 60, nearly double the length of the lunar menstrual cycles. Oh, wow. So I'm telling you what I'm laughing, right? Uh, it talks about the number 60, right? And how it says here, it says when both columns are calculated, they add up to nearly double the length of the lunar cycle. They add up to 60. nearly double the length of a cycle, right? So 60 is very interesting because 60 is something that we see constantly, right? You have it's a very yeah, you see constantly you see 60 minutes, 60 seconds. The ancient, and I'll get into that later. I read where the ancient Egyptians created pyramids, six pyramids of equal size and shape with 60 degrees each one of them. So 6 times 60 gives you 360, right? But here it is again, the number is 60. So 60 is a very interesting number that we've been using in for years. And yeah, it's very interesting. We use that number for years. And we see it here being used in our ancient African history. Uh, get better or Manakala game. Okay. I'm gonna start this right here. You're gonna see the other part of it. My message when you see it, you're gonna know exactly what I'm talking about. Um, Although the oldest known evidence of ancient counting board game, Gabriel, Gebetta, or Manakala, as it is more popularly known, comes from Yeha, 700 BCE. In Ethiopia, it was probably used as used in Central Africa many years prior. Sorry, that's many years prior. The game forces players to strategically capture a greater number of stones than one's opponent. The game usually consists of a wooden board with two stones or two, sorry, sorry about that. The game usually consists of a wooden board with two rows, six holes each, and two large holes at either end. However, in equity, however, in antiquity, the holes were more likely to be carved into stone, clay, or mud, like the example of the medieval Ascun. Let's leave this up top. Ascun, shown at right. More advanced version is found in Central and East Africa, such as the Wasio Akisoro. I hope I'm pronouncing these words right. I'm probably messing them all up, so forgive me again. And Bayo usually involve four rows and eight holes each. Very interesting. It's a game right there. And I've seen this game being played on the TV. The Moscow Papyrus, 200 BC, 2000 BC. The Moscow Papyrus. Okay. Housed in Moscow, Pushkin State Museum of Fine Arts, the so-called Moscow Papyrus was purchased by Vladimir Golinchibi sometime in the 1890s, written in Heretic from perhaps the 13th dynasty in Kemet. The papyrus is one of the world's oldest examples of use of geometry and algebra. The document contains approximately 25 mathematical problems, including how to calculate the length of a ship, rubber, the surface area, the basket, the volume of a frustum, a truncated pyramid, a various way to solve the unknown. Now I'm gonna ask some Smash Rockwell about this right here, the Moscow Papyrus. It's very interesting. Here you go. Then we had the Rhine Mathematical Papyrus. And I've heard about this Rhine Mathematical Papyrus. Um, purchased by Alexander Rhine, 1858 AD. The so-called Rhine Mathematical Papyrus shown below dated to approximately 1650 BC. It is presently housed in the British Museum, although some Egyptologists link this to the foreign Hyksos, the foreign Hyksos. I heard you guys talk about that. The foreign Hyksos. This text was found during, this text was found during the evacuation of Ramesses in Wesset, Thebes. In southern Egypt, which never came under Hyksos' rule, written by script Amos, when I describe Amos in the periodic script, and the text reads as follows. Accurate reckoning for inquiring into things and the knowledge of all things, mysteries, all secrets. This book was copied in year, original year 33 month, 33 month for Ashik under the majesty of the king of Lower Egypt. Oh, when I see certain numbers, I'm like, I'm trying to get a connection to where they took these numbers from. And these numbers just boggle my mind. But let me read that again. I don't want to read much into it, but I had to do some research on that right there, right? That's very interesting. The accurate reckoning for inquiring into things and the knowledge of all things, mystery means, sorry, read that again. Accurate knowledge, the accurate reckoning for acquiring into things and the knowledge of all things, mystery, all secrets. This book was copied in regional year 33, month for Ket, under the majesty of the king of Upper and Lower Egypt. I swear, giving life from the ancient copy made in the time of the king of the Upper and Lower Egypt. Nematra, describe almost writes this copy. So now it goes to say the first page contains 20 arithmetic problems, including addition, multiplication, fraction, and 20 algebraic problems, including linear equations. The second page, how to calculate the volume of rectangle and cylinder and tongue twister, cylindrical granaries, sorry, it's a hard word, with pi, estimated at 3.1605. Here are also calculations for the area of triangles, slopes of the A, paramedic. So it's a pyramid, and octagon. The third contains with 24 problems, including the multiplication of algebra fractions, among others. This is what we're looking. This is the Orion Still Papyrus, the Hieratic text. It's an ancient, really looking ahead. The Orion Still Papyrus, the ancient text. And here we go, talking about the Timbuktu mathematical manuscript, 1200 AD. Timbuktu in Mali is home to one of the world's oldest universities, Sankara, which had libraries full of manuscripts, mainly written in Ajami, African languages such as Hausa, in this case, written in a script similar to Arabic. In the 1200s and 12,000 AD, when Europeans in Western Asia began to visit the colonized Mali from 13,000 to 18,000 AD, the Malians began to hide manuscripts in basements after attics and underground, fearing destructive directions of the death of by foreigners. This was certainly a good idea given Europe's history of stealing and or destroying texts in Kemet and other areas of the continent. Many of the scripts, such as the one shown below, were mathematical and astronomical in nature. In recent years, as many as 700,000 scripts have been rediscovered and attested to continuous knowledge of advanced mathematics and science in Africa well before your colonization. Wow, look at that. Look at that. It's a work of art when you look at it. So that's it. That's all it is to read. I do apologize for my slow reading, and I hope you guys got something out of this historically, and some of the history of math and how we as Africans and Africans in America have been uh, robbed, and now we have the freedom to take what was stolen from us and re-assimilate it into our lives and get back into math. And this is understand and appreciation of this is one of the ways I think we're really going to stop sharing. I think it's really one of the ways we're going to advance in civilization. And we got to open the floor into discussion. We can't dismiss. Um, and we got to build our knowledge from this platform here, from where we are right now. So again, I thank you for your time and your patience and your tolerance of my horrible reading. But as I do it more and more, you see me get better and better at it. So you'll watch me grow in ways that you'll look at it 10 years from now, or hopefully not 3, 4 years from now, hopefully not that long. And you'll say, man, I remember you were stuttering all through the thing, man. Now look, you moving fluently. So we want to just grow together, and I'll start from where I am, and I'll just grow. All right. Well, thank you again very much, and I hope you guys have a wonderful day, and peace and blessings to all of you. Thank you.